and I think we have 3 or 4 people waiting. I've been talking about this not just all day. I've been talking about this all week. Excited
Oh,
to have a conversation with you.
very good. Me too.
Do you prefer Dave, David, or Dove?
Well, it's David Fishman's my official name. People in the course call me Dove. Now, Dove is just short for David, which is Hebrew for David.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Okay.
So we'll stick with Dove.
Okay.
And you've been, has it been 50 years?
I started. It was published in '76. I started in '77, so it's 48.
48. And but were you someone that you consider yourself to be a seeker leading up to that, or
Yeah,
did you?
absolutely. Yeah, I was a seeker. Yeah,
What was your
I had a spiritual rebirth in 1972. Turned my life completely around, and then I had a peak experience that lasted months. I tried to recapture that, so I became a seeker, looking for a way to recapture something you can only have as a peak experience now. You can't recapture anything.
right? It seems to always come by grace, and you
Yeah,
can never.
absolutely. Yes. I'll say it's Bashir. Do you know the word? It was destined to be Bashir. It was
And you
meant to
can't.
be.
And you can't
It's
really.
in the Course of Miracles. They use the word script. It's written into the script.
Um, and you can't really petition grace. You can only make yourself available for it. I think.
That's right. Exactly.
Let me leave a little comment that I'll be concentrating on our guests, and then we'll answer some questions. Feel free to answer questions as we go, guys. We're with Dov Fishman, David Fishman, and David. Probably, I don't know if there's anyone who's been practicing the course longer than you right now. Is there?
Yeah, there is. John Mundy actually
Oh,
met
John,
Helen.
right?
Yeah, he met her. So he found the course in '75.
Um, I've loved all of John's books.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Let's see. What was it that led you? What was the path that you were on? What led to that spiritual experience that you had?
Yeah, this is John Mundy. He actually married me and my wife back in 1981. John performed the ceremony. I'm sorry if I
That's okay.
got up or something. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The leading up to the uh, spiritual experience that you had, what was your practice beforehand, and what
Well,
was it that led?
well, you mean my spiritual awakening in '72?
Yes.
It was nothing. I was in Wall Street. I worked for IBM. I was just a pure ego guy. You know, had no seeking. I knew nothing about seeking. I knew nothing about anything. And then in '72, I was very close to uh, hitting the pit's bottom. Really, uh, I had just gone through a 10-year marriage and a divorce, and I was really close to the end. And I say, if I didn't at that particular point, as a matter of fact, I hadn't slept for 24 hours, and somebody went over someone's house to crash, and they gave me some mescaline, and I took it, but I hadn't slept for 24 hours and sharp on you. This time, after not sleeping for 24 hours, my defenses were way down, and I looked within and I cried for hours. I call it orgasmic crying. And at the end of the time, I saw myself standing in a garden with a t shirt that said, "Love the truth." That's what got me here. Love the truth got me here.
So, how do you proceed from there?
Well, I had this peak experience that lasted 2 or 3 months, and then I lost it. And I wanted it back. So I started looking, I did S in 75, thinking that I was going to get it back there. I didn't. The guy said, "You can't get something from the past. You got to have it right now." And I went on to some graduate courses at S, so I could actually uh, be a trainer at S, or a guest leader trainer. And I graduated that course, and the woman said, "Do you want to be a guest seminar leader for us?" I said, "No." She said, "Dov, you're going to be a guest seminar leader wherever you go." I found the Course of Miracles literally 2 or 3 months later.
Well, I know Gary Renard went through
Yeah,
the S training as well, and
that's
I've heard
right.
that that was good preparation. He said.
That's right. I say that if I didn't do the S training, I would never have picked up A Course of Miracles. And
Well,
that's the truth. That's the truth.
my friend Tom Thompson, who's a great yogi, been practicing yoga for 60 years, I believe. He was a guest not long ago too. He believes that the Book of S, which isn't in print, but he has a copy of it, is actually a manual for enlightenment in the right hands.
I don't doubt it. I think without S, I wouldn't be here talking to you, literally. And
Interesting.
well, because I would not have picked up the Course of Miracles. I would have looked at the Course of Miracles and said, "This is not for me. Goodbye."
It's funny. Warnhard, that was his name, right?
Werner Erhard, yes.
And he basically walked away from it.
Well, he went out to the Caribbean and enjoyed his life. I mean, there's nothing
I
wrong
was
with
going to say
that.
he walked away happily from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we have a member who wants to know if you had the great fortune to meet Ram Dass or go to India at all.
Uh, no, but I was initiated by Muktananda
Muktananda.
in 1981, who gave me my Indian name, which is Ananda. And I always think there's something great about the fact that his name is Mukta Nanda, which is to liberate bliss, and my name is Ananda, which is bliss.
I like that.
I received Shaktipat from him in '81. That was my only thing. Of course, I know of Ram Dass, and 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 the Eastern Guru
Mhm.
Muji, and it slips my mind the Nisargadatta.
Right.
Osho. uh, Osho was really a guru for me in the early uh, during the '70s and the '80s.
Was
Osho,
that before he went by Osho and was
that's right. He was in Oregon, and his name was it slipped my mind.
Rinesh or
Rajneesh,
right?
Rajneesh, yeah. And I used to watch him. He was on public TV in New York City. I used to watch him there.
So what was it with these other various spiritual paths, um, many available to you? Then what was it about the Course of Miracles that resonated and had
Okay,
you say, "This is it. This is my
very
path."
good. Okay, so it's a good question. For me, I was doing the lessons, and for me, it was just another book. Like if I got a book on Buddhism or something, it was just another book. And then I finally got to lesson 189, which is I feel the love of God within me now. And I got to paragraph 7, which is a very famous paragraph. It was Ken Wapnick's favorite paragraph, and Ken is probably the number one teacher in A Course of Miracles. He's since passed, but he was my teacher. And Ken has the same paragraph as his favorite paragraph. It says, "How can you feel the love of God in a world that looks like this?" And in paragraph 7, he says, "Simply do this: be still. Don't take with you one thought of who you are or what God is. Nothing you ever thought was true or real or good or right. Nothing you were ever ashamed of. Forget this world. Forget this course. Now, when he said forget the world, I could accept that. But when he said forget this course, my S training told me that no self respecting ego, whoever wrote a book, would tell you after he gave you 1,300 pages, throw it out.
Right. Right. It's a good
And
clue.
then, yeah, and then I realized this book doesn't come from this world.
Going to do a quick question. Our friend Squirrel Sniper said, who do you believe yourself to be when you are experiencing conflict?
Well, in A Course in Miracles, the way out of conflict is to catch yourself. In my mind, I am aware of my thoughts. So, I may would be walking down the street, but I'm not caught up in the scenery. I'm watching my thoughts. I'm always watching my thoughts. And if a thought is a conflict or something that is depressing or gets me upset or angry, I said, wait a minute, what am I doing? I look at the thought, and the whole idea of A Course in Miracles is there's two different teachers. The ego is always giving you thoughts, and if you have an upsetting thought or an angry thought, it's the ego talking to you. And as soon as you catch it, you can say, wait a minute, there's another way of looking at this. And as soon as you catch it, you're out of it.
I like to think of the course as definitely a course in mindfulness, but both aspects of the mind, the
Okay.
ego
Mind,
as well as the Holy Spirit, because you don't want to ignore the ego.
I'm not ignoring it. I'm not taking it seriously.
Right,
I'm
right.
not taking it seriously.
Let me piggyback on that because when you and I were talking right before we went live, you told me that was your key. By the way, Dove is 85 years old, and he told me the key to life, the key to being youthful. Don't take it so seriously.
That's one key. The second key, which is the one you got to really work on, letting go of the past. As long as your mind's into the past, you're just a prisoner of the ego thought system. The ego lives in the past and lives in the future. The only place the ego cannot be is now.
Um, I always thought, speaking of Ram Dass, that he should have wrote a sequel to Be Here Now, because there's nowhere else you could be. Um, we're already here. We're here. We're now, but our minds keep taking us back. Did you know Gerald Jambowski?
Of course, yeah.
I loved his saying that forgiveness is giving up all hope of a happier past.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he also wrote a book, Love is Letting Go of Fear. And all fear comes from the past. All fear. I mean, fear is the home of the ego. The ego is fear. Now, fear and love cannot coexist. So as long as you're into past or future fantasy, like I wish this would happen and all that stuff. As soon as you do that, you're into the ego's world. The way out is to be here now. Be here now, which is an Eckhart Tolle book. Eckhart, of course, did the course as well.
So how do we do it? How do we know that we're here now?
Well, I'm not thinking about something from yesterday for one thing, and I'm not thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, it's kind of simple. Being here now is like being here with you now, and we are one right here, right now. I don't see anything outside of us.
So simple is
Yeah,
it,
it's simple. Yeah.
but maybe not easy at first.
Okay. Yeah. Jesus in the Course of Miracles says simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. So a twisted mind is one that's planning. He tells you as soon as you plan, you are defending yourself. It's the longest lesson in the course. It's the one that Ken Wapnick calls the atonement lesson, lesson 135. And from paragraphs 11 through 17, it says a healed mind does not plan. It receives wisdom from above. And that's what I do. I receive the word of spirit and even speaking with you.
Speaking of Kenneth Wapnick,
Yes.
I've been mentioning a few times. I absolutely love Kenneth Wapnick. I have been having imaginary conversations. My inner Ken Wapnick has been offering me corrections along the way for about 2 or 3 months. I'll be um, uh, lost in thought on something. Uh, I will ask for some help, and I get this little tug from the Ken Wapnick voice that says something along the lines of, "It's because you are dealing with effects, and you're trying to rearrange effects, and you want to make better effects, and you need to go to the cause. The cause, so it's cause." Is uncompromising in telling me what to do, and I both appreciate it very much, and I also get a little annoyed that after so many years of practice that he's so right um, every single time in his corrections.
The whole course is about moving from being an effect or victim of this world to remembering that I'm the dreamer of my dream and I'm the cause of the dream. As long as you are at effect, you are powerless. And there's a line in the course in chapter 21, section 7 called The Last Unanswered Question. And the very first line, I can hear Jesus laughing as he says to you, do you not see that all of your misery comes from your strange belief that you, the Holy Son of God, is powerless? He's laughing because the exact opposite is true. The Son of God is powerful beyond measure.
It's really a path of um, radical responsibility.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
We have another question. What is the mechanicism? Always have trouble with that word, of persistence and shared perception among seemingly separate minds.
The catechism, I'm not familiar with the word
So,
itself.
what? Well, let me rephrase it in a way that I can properly
Okay.
pronounce it.
Yeah.
What is the mechanics of persistence and shared perception among seemingly separate minds?
Well, okay. In truth, uh, it's not separate minds. The world is the belief in separate minds. I mean, in course terms, the Son of God is sinless. The only sin is the belief in separation. That's the only sin. But since the separation never happened, there is no sin. But the belief in separation, which means I'm over here as a body, and you're over there as a body, and there's other bodies watching us, that appears to be the belief that separation is real. Once you believe that separation is real, there is a sin. Sin is guilt that I did something and I have to pay for it. And guilt demands punishment. And I rather punish myself than have God punish me later. So I don't really mind setting myself up to have a shitty life.
Well, that was a powerful statement. And it's so that realization that it never happened is such a relief that you're not a sinner and you've never sinned and you will never sin.
Yeah. This course is not about behavior. There's nothing in this course about behavior. So it doesn't matter what you do behavior wise. He's talking about in the mind. You either separated from the love of God, from the peace of God, and you're now a body, striving and trying to get more, or you never left home. We never left life, and life only exists in heaven, but we never left. It only appears we left, and oh, one day I'll get back to heaven. We never left. That's the core of the course, and of course, accepting the atonement is the only thing that we are responsible for. Accepting the atonement is recognizing that what I think I did, I never did. What I think I did, I didn't do. It's part of the dream. I dreamt. I, not too different than Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. And she goes along, tripping the light fantastic on the yellow brick road. That's us.
Another question: what are some tips or lessons you've learned from your long life experience that you wish you had known when you were younger? And have these lessons influenced the way you live today?
All right. The expression "I wish I knew when I was younger" doesn't even come to me as something that's possible, because your life is a script. Everything that happened to me happened perfectly. There's no such thing if I only knew this, then none of this would. No, everything happens perfectly. And my other uh, thing, which I have on my card: be grateful for your triggers, things that upset you and get you angry, because they reveal your mistaken beliefs. We all have mistaken beliefs. If you think the world is real, it's a mistaken belief. If you think you're a body, it's a mistaken belief. Of course, you're going to have mistakes because we believe in things that aren't real.
That's when I saw that title. Um, be grateful for your triggers. I thought I definitely want to talk about this. That seems like one of the most powerful statements that you can carry with you, because you've eliminated any call to negativity. You've eliminated any outward blame and judgment, and you've eliminated any possibility of inward judgment. That this didn't really happen to you. This trigger didn't really happen to you. We've interpreted it as an
Yeah,
attack.
it's something I don't like. It's an upset. I get angry. I'm afraid. I live in fear. I have people that I judge. All those things are ego driven thoughts that I believe. And the way I spell the word believe, as you know, the three letters in the middle of believe is LIE. Every belief in this world is a lie. The beginning of the course, he says, I can sum up this entire course for you in 3 lines. He says that. That's in the introduction. What's real can't be threatened. What's unreal doesn't even exist. Herein lies the peace of God. Now, our beliefs are what we think exists that don't really exist. What's unreal doesn't even. So, what's unreal is our belief system.
I've often thought that the course is holographic in nature. If you get one thing, you can get the entirety. If you got those 3 lines, if you really, really got it, that would be the entirety.
That's true. That's very true. And it's funny you mentioned that. I started a group. We meet every Thursday at 10:30 at ACIM Gather, which is my home site on the internet, and it's called. Any one of these 22 lessons is the entire course. Now, in review 6, which follows part 1 of the textbook, he says any one of these 20 lessons is the entire course. And he's talking about lessons 181 to 200. But just as I was about to start, I heard from Holy Spirit, he's not talking about 181 to 200 where there's 10 paragraphs in each lesson. He's talking about the review lessons 201 to 220, and they only have a few sentences. But in every one of those lessons, the following paragraph exists: I am not a body. I am free. I am still as God created me. That's in every one of the 20 lessons. And I feel that if you focus on that, you don't have to do the whole course. Now, I'm not telling anybody to not do the workbook once at least, because you have to do 1 year to do the 365 lessons. But most people just start all over again on lesson number one at the beginning of the year. You could start on lesson 201 and go to 220. Those are 20 lessons. I also include the one that you just mentioned that's in the introduction to the text. And I also include the final lesson, which is Holy Spirit, I put you in charge of my request, knowing the direction you lead brings me peace. So I say any one of these 22 lessons is the entire course.